to clean your knife, some people think that there's got to be some magic formula or some magic knife cleansing material out there. I mean, think about what you do when you clean your kitchen knives. You wash them, right? Soap and water. So that's the easiest, simplest way for most people because that's what they have available to them. Some other things that actually work really, really well and that we use here in the shop every single day are Windex, simple green. You know, cleaners like that will work wonders. For us, when we need to just clean it quick and make sure that it's spotless, we actually use acetone. We don't recommend using acetone on a regular basis because it's a paint thinner. So if you use acetone a lot, especially on powder coats and Cerakotes, eventually you're going to wear through that coating with the acetone. So you know, if your knife's really dirty, use the acetone. Otherwise, use soap and water, use Windex, and make sure that you dry it fully afterwards. So basically, we've got a knife here that's it's a little dirty, not a lot on it. We actually took it fishing and never cleaned it, so we may end up with some rust on the edge there. But this one's a perfect candidate for your soap and water. It's not anything that's going to be really difficult to get it off of the knife, and it's not really caked on there that strongly. So for this one, I really would just use some soap and water. And you know, if you're at your house, feel free to just clean it in the sink. Here we usually just spray stuff directly on a rag, wipe it down. Always make sure that you wipe away from the blade edge so that you don't cut yourself while cleaning your knife. Simple as that. And pay extra attention to your edge. On most of our knives, they're going to have a coating, and any of our high carbon steel blades will have a coating. So the coating is going to be a lot easier to clean than just your blade edge, and that's because the coating is protecting the edge, or protecting the rest of the blade. The edge itself is really where your rust spots are going to show up, and if you allow that rust to pit or to get deep, that's where you can end up with chips on your edge without it ever having used it. And so that's another reason why maintaining your blade regularly is a good idea. Most of the time it's just a simple wipe down like this, and you're done. Just make sure that it's dry, and then everything's ready to go. You're ready to take it on your next adventure. So soap and water, real simple. Something like this knife that is a tester, and I can guarantee you we're not going to get it 100% clean. But we took this out just to try out some things on one of our existing models. This does not have a layer of Cerakote on it. We put it through wood, we put it through mud. I mean, when we test our blades, we do things that we wouldn't recommend doing with them to see how well they're going to hold up to, you know, proper use. So this is one that I would say, you know, you've neglected this blade for a while. It's dirty. Maybe you took it on a long camping trip and you really need to clean this thing. This is one that where I would use acetone. Again, you don't want to use a lot of acetone, and you don't want to put it directly on your knife because acetone will rust it faster than water will. So this is one where you would want to spray the acetone on the rag that you're using, and you'll want to get that nice and wet because acetone also dries really quickly. So you get a lot of acetone on there and you just start going to town. And as I suspected, a lot of this has rusted. But if you get in here really close, you can see that the acetone dries, I mean, almost instantly. You know, so you've got to reapply several times. And if this gets bad enough, you can also use steel wool. You can use sandpaper. I would go easy on the sandpaper, but you can use steel wool to kind of get some of this stuff on there that's not coming off. Yeah, there's definitely some rust on this. Again, once you get close to the blade, always go out away from the edge. I've learned the hard way to do that, as has probably anybody that has worked for tops. You don't really become an employee until you've cut yourself. I became an employee very quickly after I was hired. So,
good thing you don't get raises the same way.
Right, definitely. I mean, I'd probably, I'd be a rich man if it were that way. I can handle the pain. But as you can see, so we've got some issues here with the with some rust. But you know, we compare the side that we just cleaned with the acetone. Most of that's gone to the other side, which is what this looked like to begin with. So this is a blade that we're going to need a lot more care and maintenance on. But just to show you, just so you can see kind of that difference between how dirty it was compared to how clean we can get it. This is one we'd either take steel wool to, or if this was something that a customer had sent back and say they just couldn't get it off, we'll reprocess the whole thing. We'll sandblast it, make sure that any rust is gone, any little specks of dirt are gone. We'll recoat the thing and be ready to go. But again, since this is a tester, we don't really mind the rust on it, because it also kind of helps us know how long it's going to take to start pitting and issues like that. So separate conversation, but this is, I mean, that's as simple as it is for cleaning your knife. You don't have to spend a lot of time on it. You don't have to do anything crazy and buy special solvents and anything like that. It's just, you just clean it like you would any other tool. The real trick is your long-term maintenance and avoiding rust in the first place.